Hello everyone, Republic Jim here, back for another morning commute chat. It's about 30 degrees this morning and I'll be driving with my window open again, so pardon the wind noise. Just have to work on that cold adaptation, but as you know from the title of this video, that's not the point of this particular one. What I wanted to talk about was something I was thinking about while I was splitting firewood, and that is how previous generations were able to work on their strength and conditioning without the use of commercial gyms or readily available barbells or anything like that, like, you know, all the exercise equipment that we're fortunate to have now. And you know, basically I think bottom line is that life used to be much more physically difficult than it is now. Now with all of our mechanical stuff, automation and everything, we have a whole industry that's focused around just coming up with devices to make things easier for people. And you know, so then because of that, you have people that are generally sedentary, working in offices and need to go to the gym to get their exercise. And of course I have to do that too because I work all day in an office, but I do try to get a fair amount of other physical activity outside the office, just with working around my place and doing other things. I touched on it a little bit in my video about old school fitness equipment, talking about my old push reel lawnmower and scythe for cutting brush and weeds. And you know, that's the sort of thing that people used to have to do back before they had gas lawnmowers, and especially riding mowers. You know, now anybody even with the slightest amount of lawn seems like they want to have a riding lawnmower because pushing it is so inconvenient. So, you know, they're riding on that. When it comes to clearing snow, everybody wants to have, you know, like a ATV with the snow plow on it or whatever, just to, you know, to do a small walkway or something, or a driveway. And, you know, granted, my neighbor comes over with the snow plow truck when we have a lot of snow, and he'll clear out the driveway because we have a pretty long driveway. But other than that, all the pathways, you know, out to the woodshed and the front walk and back patio, all that sort of thing, I just shovel it all by hand. And you know, kind of the way that they used to do it, firewood, or a lot of people that used to heat with coal, they would have to shovel that. Either way, you know, splitting and hauling in firewood is definitely a good amount of exercise, and it has to be done on a regular basis. And you know, there's just so many activities now that we just kind of take for granted that we have mechanized ways of doing it. A lot of times in the old days, people walked much more. It wasn't, you know, they either didn't have a car, or it just, they had one car for a family, and it just wasn't real convenient to you know, try to drive everywhere, especially for the shorter jaunts. So people would just walk or ride a bike. And you know, I'm not saying that people don't do that these days, but it is a lot less common. And you know, we sort of reached that ridiculous point now where you hear about these people that get all their workout gear together, go hop in the car, drive to the gym, park as close as they possibly can to the building, and then go in and walk on a treadmill. And it's just absurd. I don't get it. Why not just go out and walk or do some other work on your house or property or whatever? There's all sorts of things that can be done without trying to make it as easy as possible. And I would argue that frequently easy is not always better, no matter what society has conditioned us to think. You know, the older generations, they didn't necessarily focus on, like, you know, hypertrophy, trying to build as much muscle as they could, like a lot of the guys in the gym now. But many of them were fairly strong by today's standards, and you know, in good cardiovascular shape, and it was just, you know, they're just strong and wiry and could work all day, and it was not anything that they really gave any thought to. It was just a byproduct of their life. And I'd say especially people that lived in the country that had a lot more outdoor chores to take care of, livestock and hay and everything else. And you know, even today you can come across a fair amount of country boys that are pretty good sized, you know, just strong, and have never actually gone to the gym. And a lot of that comes down to just throwing around bales of hay. You know, you get guys that spend a chunk of their time, you know, baling up hay, putting it on the trailer and getting it up in the barn or whatever. And you know, it's hard work, and it's a lot of lifting, and that sort of thing is what people did long before commercial gyms and barbells and all that. And it's a lot harder to do with the way our society is now, and the way our lives are, with fast-paced and all the technology and such. But I find there's some real benefits to still doing that sort of thing, and not just looking for those shortcuts, but getting out there and putting in that labor. And you know, yeah, I could get a hydraulic wood splitter and save a lot of time and energy, but I don't want to. I don't want to have the expense of that. I don't want to have to gas it up and maintain it. And frankly, I think the way that the world is going, we're circling the drain, and I think things are going to get bad real soon. And I don't want to be dependent on some of this technology to accomplish tasks that I think we're going to go back to having to do by hand again. And you know, not really the topic of this video. I might do a different one about it, but honestly, I think part of being prepared is being ready to do those tasks by hand and being in the condition to do it. And so that's where that old school strength and conditioning comes in. I'm going to keep working on that and encourage others to consider that too. So anyway, I'm at work, got to wrap it up. I hope this has been interesting or informative to someone, and that's about it for now. I'll talk to you later. It's been Republic Jim.